Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about a key athletic development exercise for developing throwing patterns, the heavy club inside pullover. Throwing patterns are incredibly important. Humans have thumbs for a reason. We hold onto levers and we throw things. A lot of sports contain throwing in some way. Throwing punches, throwing sticks, using bats. All these things are throwing patterns, and you should be very, very good at them. The problem with a lot of athletic training in the modern world, in say a conventional gym sense, is that there's not a lot of throwing pattern training in there. You pick things up, you squat, you press, you change your angles on presses, you do pulls, but very rarely are people actually mimicking throwing patterns directly in the gym. That's oftentimes taken up by the realm of sport training, but people in sport tend to only train their throwing pattern one side, the side that they use in sport. In order to help people be healthier and make their brain work better, we train our throwing pattern equally on both sides. Same weight, same number of reps, so that the brain learns to rotate equally well both directions. This has an effect on getting rid of overuse injuries associated with sport, and it just generally makes people healthier, and it increases their ability to learn new things faster. The same way a dancer can learn things faster and martial artists can learn things faster, working on throwing patterns each way will help you learn a bunch of other weird things in life faster. It's called the what the hell effect. This exercise is a breakdown. It sits inside of inside circles, moving towards your center line, outside circles, moving away from your center line, shield casts, pullovers, moving straight back and straight forward, outside pullovers, where you're rotating away to the outside of your body. Now inside, this is the hardest one to learn. Sit down in the same side leg. Your hips point 45, your upper body moves 45 to that. Elbow on body. The heavy club goes past the same side ear. Straight back, straight forward. The elbow starts and ends in the same spot. The important part is the 90-degree angle of your arm. Hips move 45 without the feet moving. That causes one knee to drive forward, one leg to drive back. This leg is not straight. They are both equally bent. Upper body finishes the rotation, so your spine rotates on the way up. Arm straight back, arm straight forward. Arm straight back, arm straight forward, arm straight back, arm straight forward. When you learn this, you tend to learn straight back, straight forward with your body square first, because most people are not straightening out both legs equally well. That's why they tend to have back pain. People learn to have their feet pointed straight ahead, their legs straight, their tailbone tucked, and their glutes on. The glutes on is actually the bottom of the core. When the glutes go on, the spine comes into a more neutral position. If the glutes are off and the tailbone is back, people tend to have back pain and they are not engaging their core muscles. Your core should always be engaged. Heavy club swinging reinforces that. If your core is not on, your back tends to hurt. Tailbone tucked, rib cage down, resist extension with the muscles in the front of the body. As the weight goes back, do not let your rib cage lift up. Do not let these muscles go off. Drive the glutes on, rib cage down, and then this is resisting extension. Glutes on, abs fired, rib cage down. Then we move it to the outside. All of this stays there, except we are rotating the easy way. Outside, this requires less movement of our spine and it's a little bit easier to learn. Straight ahead is the first one you learn. Then outside, straight back, straight forward. All of this is still on. Glutes are on, rib cage is down, resist extension from the core. Then we go to that inside pendulum. Feet are still, squared ahead, 45 degrees. You're gonna have to rotate further to do this inside pullover. The movement is much more dramatic in this rotation. This is the hardest one for people to learn, which is why it's learned last. The important part is that your elbow is on your body. If your elbow is out, you will not be able to go up in weight. The point of heavy club swinging is that it is throwing pattern training with increasingly heavy weights. You could use something like this light 2-pound club and have your elbow out and do it forever, kind of generally wrong. There is a place for light training. It is an infinite amount of complexity, but light club training for throwing patterns should go with heavy club swinging. Heavy clubs make you honest. Your position has to be correct in all of the movements. If you let go with your core, or your elbow does not return to the right spot, or your hand is too high, which will be indicated by your top finger sticking out, then you won't be able to go up in weight. Weights for this exercise. Most men without a bunch of injuries will probably start in the realm of 15 pounds. They will build up to probably at least 30 pounds. When you can do this with, say, 35 pounds, then you're probably in the right spot. If you can't go up in weight, go down in weight, fix your positioning. It's just like Olympic lifting. It's just like lifting anything heavy. Where your bones are matters. This exercise is treated as strength training for, let's say, 5 years. You should run this exercise with probably 3 weights. For most guys, that's going to be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 at least. The more weights you have, the better the outcome. So if you had 17.5, 22.5, 27.5, 32.5, it gets a lot better. The Adex club is probably the only way that you're going to get that. This exercise is generally hard, but it is strength training. So treat it as strength training, sets of 3 to 5, and then you add volume to it. So you'll start with, say, 5 sets of 5. You would go to 6 sets of 5. You would walk your way up to a predetermined number. Normally it's 20 sets of 5, or a century, 20 sets of 5, and then probably people go up in weight. It is a simple idea, but it is not easy. The side effect is, on accident, you're going to end up with arms and abs. The heavier the weight, the more of this contraction you are holding over and over and over again. It's like doing a bicep curl, but without vanity. Bicep curls are kind of a little bit useless for things other than bodybuilding. People will argue about that all day, but if you have a limited amount of time and you have your choice between heavy clubs and bicep curls, always pick heavy clubs. Bicep curls, one plane of movement. Heavy clubs, everything is an exact human movement pattern that you can directly point to in martial arts and sport and work. The better you move, the better your life is. The worse you move, the more pain you are in general. Learn to move better, optimize your time spent training, and if you have extra time, add bodybuilding after you have done your useful movement pattern strength training.